isn't this working as it should be? Just a second, I am gonna just get the music. Should it be this one? Oh yes, so it transforms over to this slide. Hello Anne and hi LR literal RLR. I don't know what. Let me know what you want to call you. Welcome to this assembling party. If you are here for the first time, let me explain to you what this is all about. So we have been having a summer crochet along inside the Happy Amigurumi Club. We have made, oh, he is in pieces, but we have made a chameleon together. And during this live stream, because sewing together amigurumi pieces can be a very annoying task. So that is why I always invite you at the end of a crochet along to come and join me and sew together each piece during an hour, or at least get started. Hi Randy! Hi Marielle! I'm so excited that you're here live. I can't wait to start seeing your finished chameleons in the Discord server and over on Facebook. But yeah, let's get started. If you have any questions over this live stream, we're gonna do this for an hour. I now realize I am rambling, but we are here for an hour. Gonna get started at least with the sewing and see how far we come. I have already started because I didn't have the heart to frog him entirely, but at least you get to see each part, how I sew them on, and I hope that that will help you in your sewing journey as well. So let's kick this off, shall we? I am gonna turn the camera. This is always when the funny settings, so that you can see my hands better. And welcome to my desk. I might want to zoom out a little bit. I feel like this is a little bit too close, but we can fix that pretty easily. Yeah, so let me know, what are you working on? Are you working today on the chameleon? By the way, come and vote for your name suggestion in the Discord chat. I made a poll earlier today where you can vote for the name of our chameleon. So, but you can do that after this live stream. Ooh, no stress. There is, I think, 2 days left of the poll. And I'm still missing a foot, so no assembling for me yet. Well, that foot you will make during this time, I am very sure. And yes, you're welcome to be here, even though you might not be crocheting or sewing together your amigurumi. You can also be doing other crafty things. But the thing with these live streams that we host inside of the Happy Amigurumi Club each month is that we take an hour to be creative and take a break from social media scrolling. Marielle, is that the mermaid? Yes, this is the mermaid. I am gonna talk about her in a little while, but we are gonna get started on the chameleon first. Randy, I have 2 more legs to crochet. No worries. You have time to do that now. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to sew them on. So when you are ready for the sewing and the assembling, it's gonna be a piece of cake. Lena, I'm cooking dinner. That is okay as well. It is a very needed thing. We all need food to be working properly. So I am happy that you are making food too. I'm making the legs. You are in good company, Minerva. It seems like there are plenty of you who are on the legs. They were a little bit slower to crochet than I was expected. To be honest, I didn't plan them to be... I planned them to be way more simple than they actually turned out to be. But I am really happy with how they turned out. So my initial thought was not to have this bend over here, but only like the 2 toes. But yeah, it ended up looking like this with 2 different break sections. And yeah, I am really happy how it turned out. I just realized that also my camera is upside down. I'm gonna try. And oh, how did I do this last time? Yes, I have a system and it works. Let me also maybe move. Nope. Like this. Let me know if I go out of frame or anything. Sometimes I get so into sewing that I don't realize where my hands are at. Hello, Sari. Nice to have you here. I love the legs. They look so good. Thank you. I am also very excited about the legs. They turned out way better than I thought that they would turn out. I did have to research though how the legs of a chameleon look like, because I had no idea. And to be honest, I'm very excited to kind of make a frog with the same shape now, because this would also make perfect frog legs, wouldn't it? I would need to do something about the toes though, because I don't think frog legs looks like that. They are more like a square, no, but the triangle maybe. The bend is the best part. Yeah, I'm so happy that I persevered and didn't just go for the simple design. Okay, the head and the neck are very straightforward to sew on because they have the same stitch count. So you just take 1 stitch from the neck and 1 stitch from the head and go all the way around. If you want to know where I started, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches, and in the 8th stitch I started sewing on the head, if that helps you get. And I felt like when I had crocheted it looked as straight as it could be. So if you want to help with that, it is also helpful as usual to use pins. I'm too lazy to do that and feel like they are kind of in the way when you sew stuff like this. But if that helps you, be my friend, use pins. I always highly recommend to use them if that is the way you wanna go. Hi, Narian. No worries. You're very welcome. I am so happy that you're here. And for you who are in the Discord, as I said, I think this is kind of a record on how little sewing or how little, I mean, there is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts that need sewing, but the instructions for the sewing was so short. I am used to having at least like 6 or 7 pictures, but for this it was only 3. So, and the sewing is very straightforward, so if you aren't a big fan of sewing, this is a perfect project for you. The finished pattern, I'm gonna try and get everything sorted next week and put it up in the Club Hub over the Happy Amigurumi Club Hub, so that you can download the final pattern with all the final image. The only image that is missing is the front page, but I mean, you kind of want a entire pattern when there is one. So that's coming up next week. And for news that is happening this week, on Friday, the summer amigurumi challenge is starting over on Instagram. The amigurumis was revealed today. There is 6 amigurumi designers participating. Every one of us have designed a brand new amigurumi for this challenge, and you will get access to part 1 of each pattern over on each designer's Instagram account for 3 days. And after those 3 days, if you have made the parts, you can send a picture to the designer and get part 2. At least that is how it works over on my side. Other designers might have slightly different ways of how to access the second part, but they will have more information of each designer's Instagram page. And I am currently blown away how many people have signed up. I think we are over 500 people on Instagram right now participating in the crochet along, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's gonna be so much fun, and all amigurumis are so adorable. It's funny because none of us, I mean, the theme was summer, and none of us was really planning that there would be a lot of sea animals. So we were all pleasantly surprised when there was a lot of sea animals and sea creatures in the mix of amigurumi patterns. But maybe that is something that we tend to think about when we think about summer. The sea, ocean, and swimming and beaches. Okay, let's see that this matches up with the stitches. I might have one too many. It's a little bit weird here for me because I made a invisible stitch, so there is like an extra stitch at the neck, but that is okay. And then stuff the head before closing the gap with more stuffing. Is any of you joining the amigurumi challenge over on Instagram? It is Irenot. I think that's her Instagram, who is hosting, and she will also be the first designer that releases her pattern part. And if there is anyone here that isn't participating but would like to buy the patterns, they will also be released in everyone's shops on Friday. I had to check when there was some of you asking when the pattern is gonna release, and I noticed that I have no idea when we are allowed, if she wanted us to release it after the crochet along or when we have published it for free first on our own pages, or but yeah, we could release it at the same time. I might even want to put a little bit more. Yay! Marielle is joining! Yay! It's gonna be a lot of fun. And the patterns are in different sizes, so there isn't... I think mine might be one of the bigger ones. But the rest of them is medium or smaller amigurumis, so they aren't super time consuming too. But yeah, it might take... Be prepared to put a lot of crocheting during the evenings during this challenge, because there is a lot of patterns coming. But I mean, you can also jump in and just crochet one or two if you feel like it. Okay, we have a head. I'm gonna close this up now. And thank you for all the feedback on the mermaid. It is warming my heart, honestly. Oop. We are celebrating Helsinki Pride next week. It is Midsummer this weekend, and then the following week it is Pride, and I am definitely bringing with me this fellow. We need to get a name for him ASAP. I need to have something to call him. There was a lot of great name suggestions over on Discord, so I am very sure that we will decide on a perfect name for this little happy friend too. I'm just weaving in the yarn and it is very tight here under the slip stitches, so I don't think I need to go that far. Let's poke it through the head. Not that bad with the stuffing coming out between the stitches. That is something that can annoy me a lot. And sometimes when you start pulling the stuffing, you just end up pulling out a big chunk of stuffing. So I try to not pull too much, just a tiny bit. Okay, so the goal is to get the other side to look kind of like this. And I might actually need to take some pins for that. Let's do the eye first, and then we can go to the legs. I think this is one of... Well, I usually kind of get my amigurumis sewed together during these live streams, but sometimes there is so much sewing that I don't manage to finish them. But this time, I'm very certain that it is gonna be finished. Yeah, so it's crazy this summer. I wasn't planning on releasing a lot of patterns, but suddenly I have the mermaid coming out this week. And then we have next month, which is soon upon us, July, the Emerald Dragon is gonna come out to the general public because it's been exclusive inside of the club for a year. And after a year, I plan to release them in the regular pattern shop. So we have that coming up, and I've gotten so much questions for the pattern for the whale pouch that I'm trying now my best to speedily crochet, then take step-by-step pictures and release it before I go on holiday. 12th of July is the plan. There will be 2 sizes, but the pattern will be the same for both of them. So the bigger one is just crocheted with 2 strands of yarn and a 4mm crochet hook, and the small one, which is this one, is crocheted with just a single yarn and a 3.0, yes, crochet hook. But it's fun to be able to make a pouch for smaller trinkets, and then if you wanna have a bag and be a little bit more bold and show it off as a fanny pack, for example, you can do so. I'm very excited to start using it outside. It's something, I mean, I love amigurumi, but something that makes me a little bit sad is that I can't show them off. I mean, I have amigurumis around the house, but most of them are stored in plastic boxes. And when you, for example, knit a sweater, you can use it and you can show it off and be proud of what you have made. But yeah, so I'm very excited about the bag, because it's a way to show off my love for amigurumi and quirky stuff at the same time as, yeah, doing a creative project. For the eye, I am sewing up and down, all the way around. I am very careful to only take stitches that are underneath the eye, because if you go a little bit further to the left, for example, the stitches will start showing. Anya is looking forward to the whale. I'm excited for the crab. Yes, that is, I was planning to release it next year, but it is actually coming out already in August. So Casper the crab is coming out already then. He's also very fun make. And not that much sewing, even though he has like legs in a fair amount. They are stitched, so you stitch the 2 parts together and then you just poke everything in between. So it's a very like simple sewing too. So a lot of fun of new patterns coming out, which I'm very excited for. I love designing new creatures, but it's also a lot of fun when they are done and they can see the light of the world and you get to share them and start seeing everybody else's version of your pattern. Another tip is to, sometimes you might want to go like this under a stitch. Can you see? Whee! In the holes. But sometimes you might just want to pick 2 loops, for example, if they are placed in a better spot than the holes. Okay, yes, the crab. And after my vacation, I need to start figuring out Halloween and Christmas projects. So if you have any suggestions for what we are gonna do in the autumn, let me know your wishes and they might come true. The way I am weaving in this white yarn end is I'm going through all the way around. This makes the eye look a little bit tighter, and if there are any gaps where the red, for example, is poking through, it hides those spots. And then I just poke through. And cut off. We have an eye, or actually two. Oh yeah. Then we have the legs. They were not super tricky to attach, but I do recommend to pin them down. Especially when you make, like, if you want both sides to be kind of equally spaced. My goal is to have it like on a shelf, so I kind of want the legs to touch the shelf or whatever it's like laying on. So I'm trying not to put them too far up on the amigurumi. I think this might be good. Another thing that I haven't talked about yet is some things that is happening in the Happy Amigurumi Club in July. We are having another challenge, but it's a scrap yarn challenge, and it is also an open challenge. So you don't have to be inside the club, but I thought that it could be I'm gonna especially write about it in the club. So if you need a special project for your summer holiday, for example, I think that will be fun. It's not, again, me who is hosting it. It is a fellow crochet designer friend. And the goal is, if I've understood this correctly, is that you pick a pattern, any pattern, and then you pick your yarn, or you weigh your yarn that you have, and the person with the least amount of yarn left but hasn't run out of the yarn is the winner of the yarn chicken challenge. But there will be more information about the challenge in July. Oh, let me explain. So I first sewed these to this, I think it's maybe, is it 3 stitches down? And now I'm just like securing the entire leg to the amigurumi. It feels kind of crooked though. Let me back up a couple of stitches. Just so it's not flapping like a wing on a bird. A reminder for the giveaway for everyone who is participating in the summer crochet along. The only thing you need to do is publish 3 pictures, a beginner like setting up picture, a middle process picture, and a final picture. If you haven't taken the first picture, you can take a picture of your yarn, for example, and publish it on Instagram. And that way, and tag me, of course, because otherwise I will not find your pictures. I will send out a yarn kit and some gift cards for the shop. It feels like this segment of orange is smaller than on this side, but I don't know how that is even possible, or if it's just because the decreases, it's like, I don't know, but it feels like it's tighter to get the leg to fit on this side. Sounds like a fun challenge. Yeah, I love the idea too. I am not gonna take credit for the idea, but I don't remember the other amigurumi designer's name. She contacted me over on Ribbler and asked if I wanted to join, so it's all her idea, and I will definitely link all her links and everything when there is more information about the challenge. And yeah, I really liked the fact that you can do whatever you want, because I host these crochet along, which has their specific patterns, of course, but it would be nice with some kind of crochet challenge where you can pick any project you want. That can be a project on your to-do list, for example, but still be a part of the funsies. And the fact that we are using scrap yarns, I also love that. As you can see in my previous YouTube video, I have a lot of scrap yarn, and I'm working my best to currently design amigurumis that are using up those scrap yarns. So this is actually a scrap yarn project because I have so much Kanma cotton in my stash and I need to use it up. And the mermaid. That's a story in itself. And of course also the whale is also a super duper scrap yarn project. So I'm trying my best to use what I have. Do we think that this is good? I think that is a good placement. Last leg, and it's not even 20:45. What is going on? Okay, I know I had cheated a little bit, but still this is an exceptionally fast assembling project. Hello Jennifer! Welcome! Marielle, I'm going slow here, just finishing the second eye. No worries, no stress, take the time that you need, it is not a race. The main thing is to get started, because that is usually the most hard part. So I'm kind of leaving like the foot part wiggling around, and then I'm stitching down the rest of the leg. I am currently assembling our chameleon that we crocheted together in the summer crochet along 2024 inside of the Happy Amigurumi Club. I host 4 crochet alongs a year inside of the club, and this was our second one this year. We also made one in March. That was Caroline, the cotton candy sheep. I have her somewhere, probably in a plastic box. Oh, I should get like a proper shelf where I could display all my amigurumis, but until we are living in a bigger house, apartment thingy, this will do. So it doesn't have any name yet, but we are currently figuring that out inside of the Discord chat. Right now, Cam has most votes. So if you don't agree with the results, go and put in a vote for your favorite name suggestion over in the Discord. But yeah, this is our cute rainbow chameleon. He is definitely gonna come with me on Helsinki Pride. Okay, so someone asked, Marielle asked, is this the rainbow? No, the mermaid. Yes, it is. this is Marina the mermaid, named by my friend Marina and my other friend Joanne, who suggested the same name. She is a scrap yarn mermaid to her core. I have never played as much yarn chicken as I have when designing her. This teal blue green, it's like more blue than it shows up on the camera. It shows up more green on the camera. I had like 3 skeins. That was fine. I knew I had plenty of this, but this beige or really light pinkish color, I had not as much in my stock. So that is why she has way more clothing covering her body than maybe a regular mermaid. But I think I'm very happy with how the limited amount of yarn made me design her in a way different way that I probably would have done if I would have had all the yarns in the world. So I have really counted the rounds on how much yarn, like how far this would last me. So I had like maybe this amount of yarn left when I finished her. But yeah, she has a tail that looks like this. Very happy with that. And then she is designed as my other sitting amigurumis, but instead of legs, she of course have a tail so she can sit very sturdily. And then she has a dress-ish, I would maybe call it, with this fringy thing that I really love. I think it looks very luxurious somehow, and she looks very fancy. She's a fancy mermaid. And then I was thinking a lot if I should put real pearls as a necklace on her or if I would crochet, and I was like, we are crocheters, let me crochet a pearl necklace for her. So I have crocheted a pearl necklace that you can tie on the other side, and then yeah, she has 2 layers of hair and happy eyes. And I wanted to incorporate some pink, which is also scrap yarns. So underneath on the second layer I have some pink yarns, but you can of course make it solid colors, the hair, or make it with these different shades as well. And yes, her friend Vinona the Witch matches too. So now we have 2 dolls in the collection, which is crazy. The first one started last year in October, and now we have already a second one, and I really love how they look. I think they are so cute. And if you want to match, you can use this scalloped also for, you can like switch these 2 out, and you could also actually use this pattern part to make her skirt or make her feet into a tail. So you can mix and match a little bit with these patterns. You can also use Vinona the Witch's hair for the mermaid if you want it shorter, because her hair is like this length, and Marina's is a little bit longer. It curls up a little bit, so it's always hard to tell how long it is. But yeah, that is Marina the mermaid. She's coming out on Friday in the web shop, together with a sale that is gonna go on during the summer amigurumi challenge. There will be 25% off all patterns in the shop, not on the new mermaid pattern, but all of the other patterns. So if you want to go and get some new patterns for your summer holiday, that might be a good time to go and grab some of my patterns. But I will send you an email about all of this too, so you don't miss it. Oh, so cute. I love her. Happy that you like her. I was a little bit scared that she's like looking too simple, but I don't know. I actually like it, and I feel like the hair in itself is taking up a lot of attention. So I think it's a fine balance to have like the body to be a little bit simple, more simple. But I was actually thinking if I would like crochet some bubbles or something to attach on her. But I think I'm good. I'm very, very eager to make a pink version. You know me, I love pink. And I think she would look amazing in pink. Or even in yellow would also be really funny. I would also like to try out a couple of other tails. So I don't know, I might do some kind of, yeah, maybe another mermaid version that has a separate tail, and maybe this part will look a little bit different so that you can mix and match. Let me know if that is something that would be of interest for you. But yeah, she is coming out on Friday in the shop. I will be sure to send you a message. This is also the amigurumi that is inside the amigurumi Summer Amigurumi Challenge over on Instagram. So half of the pattern will be free over on my Instagram page, coming out 24th of June. And then you have 3 days to make part 1 and send me that, and then you will get access to part 2. So if you participate in the Summer Amigurumi Challenge, you will get the pattern for free. But if you are too eager and can't wait for the pattern to come out there, you can just go and buy it from Friday onward. Okay, that was the chameleon and the mermaid. Let me know if you have any questions. I thought, because we have still like about 10 minutes left, I could work a little bit more on the pattern, on the whale pattern that I was talking about. So this little pouch that also doesn't have a name yet, so we need to figure out that too. But yeah, this is coming out in July, but I'm working on this is like the small version, and I'm also working on a big bag version, which is crocheted with double-stranded yarn. This is the interface of don't mind the mess, but there is like a lining. Maybe lining is interfacing and lining the same thing. Either way, it is double layered to make it really sturdy, and so it doesn't become big when you use it, you know. Crochet tends to stretch, especially this kind of crochet. This is half double crochets. So to make it keep its form and also just becoming more sturdy, we are making a interface, and this is how the big outer section of the bag looks. So if you want to compare the sizes, it's not super big of a difference, but the thing that annoys me with this was that my phone didn't fit, and this one, it will fit perfectly. So I wanted something where I can keep my phone, a little bit, like maybe some cards. I might do a inner pouch for cards and stuff. That would be very handy, because when I use this kind of small bags, I usually, because I have this big wallet, but that is too big for this. So when I take out my cards, I would like to store them somewhere. So maybe I should make like a little bit of a pouch on the inside. But yeah, this is what we are working with, and this is the amount of yarn I have left of the dark blue. And then I have a weird dark blue. It's not really the same shade, but it's it's close enough so on the finished pictures you can't tell the difference, but if you are close up you might tell that there is a certain shade difference. The other thing is that this is a little bit thicker, so I might actually go back and do one strand of each so that the difference, otherwise this will be super bulky to work with. So we will see if I manage to finish this up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 4 rounds, and then I have the tail left. So it's not that much, but I'm a bit scared because I have no idea what to do if I run out of this yarn, because I, for the fact, doesn't have any more. So I might have to go and buy something or check my wool yarn stash to see. This line already is a separate yarn because I thought that this is gonna go on the inside so no one will notice, but this is like, it's too different in color, so I can't really have it on the outside because you will notice. Or maybe I could have like the last rounds or something, or maybe the tail and it wouldn't stick out that much. But I would be so happy if I just could use all my scrap yarn and wouldn't have to buy any more new yarn. I would love that this project would take more of the light blue because I have a ridiculous amount of this yarn. But maybe in the future I can make a whale that would also be just a solid color. Or a pink whale. Everything works in pink, right? Especially a pink yarn or a pink whale. So I think I'm gonna measure this and make this into a ball so that we have the exact same amount of both, because it will not stand out if I mix them together, I think, even though the shades are a little bit different. I also have, but this is also a little bit, this is now in the camera it shows up really different. It's actually not that big of a difference, but it's really, really thin, so I maybe would need to use 6 strands of yarn to match the gauge of the other, so I think I will skip this for now at least. How do I do this? I am frogging. A little at least, because I feel like I have more of that one, the thicker yarn than this. Marielle, we feel your pain at frogging. Yeah, I guess it's a part of the game when you design amigurumi and bags. I guess too. But yeah, it hurts. It does. But this is pretty quick though to crochet, so a couple of rounds will be very quick to redo again. I think I'm gonna frog all the way here because I made a knot here when I run out of yarn. This is such a tangled mess right now, but it's gonna be It's gonna be better. And you never regret a frogging, right? No, usually you're right. It's usually worth it to redo something that you know that you aren't 100% happy with than keeping it. I mean, it's different if it's something that is so small that you wouldn't see it, or I'm gonna confess if I have made, for example, a decrease in the wrong place, I might just correct it by making an increase somewhere else. But yeah, sometimes it's definitely worth it to frog. And maybe you can switch between the yarns. So one row with one of the blues and then one row with another, so it will be striped but not so visible. Yeah, that might also be an idea. Definitely gonna maybe jump onto that if there is a lot of parts that or if there is a lot left after I've crocheted, I might frog it entirely and make it striped. Because I have a lighter blue, for example, so it would be an idea to stripe it with light blue and dark blue. But I want to try this first and see how far can I go with this yarn. But yeah, I've been very experimental and done a lot of yarn chicken challenges for myself recently. And I love how it makes me design in a slightly different way than maybe I would do if I would have a lot of yarn. I guess it's like the same with a lot of other creative projects too, that if you have some kind of limiting frames, it doesn't have to be limiting, it can actually be creative in a way. I wonder if I'm gonna regret not fixing this before starting to make it into a ball. How is it going, everybody? We have 2 minutes left of the assembling party. Give me an update. Marielle, I'm on the third leg, the short orange one, love. Did I read that? There's a heart in the shorter orange one, love. There's a heart in the way of my chat. But that's good. You have only one left then. Minerva, 1.5 legs done. Good job. Please do show off your chameleons when they are done. I would love to see how they all turn out. Especially because I know that there is a different color schemes. If I have time, I'm gonna make a collage of all the chameleons. That is something that I would have liked to do during previous crochet alongs too, but I haven't really had time. But I'm gonna do my best this time and collect all the pictures and make a collage of all the finished chameleons. But there is plenty of time. This crochet along goes on until last day of June, so that is a project for July. So no stress, there is still plenty of time to finishing up your chameleons. Okay, I am gonna take a break here before my nerves gets all tangled up in this mess. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed our summer crochet along and making our chameleon together. And I can't wait to see your versions. So please show them off with pride. And yeah, happy Pride, by the way. I will see you around in the club and everywhere else. Have a really nice rest of the evening. Bye!